Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Chuck. I'm a hairdresser and a salon owner in Austin, Texas. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a kind of surfer-inspired balayage. And to get started, I'm going to go ahead and start mixing up. I'm mixing up my balayage lightener. Today I'm using Pravana's Pure Light Balayage Lightener with 50 volume, Olaplex, and TCA drops. I whisk my mixture very well to make sure that I get out any lumps, but then I like to go through and hit it 2 times just to get out any air. I'm also mixing up a root color today to apply for gray coverage. We're just really going to be blending things away. I'm not trying to cover everything. She just looks for a nice blend, but she wants a little bit of the gray to be there so that there's not a lot of demarcation as it's growing back in. So I'm mixing up 6/08 and 9/21 in TG copyright color. And I'm mixing that with 20 volume as well as TCA drops. I begin by loading a layer of lightener onto my paddle. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know I like to pre-section everything out. So I've already done that here, and I'm going to go ahead and begin applying my lightener to the first section. I paint very narrow highlights underneath in these lower sections to maintain depth. This will help to emulate the look that the sun would create, leaving us with a very sun-kissed, sun-bleached look. In this last section on the back, you'll notice that my client has some gray going through this area at the root. So I'll paint in my highlights first, and then I'll go back with my root color and just tap it in at the root where she has gray and swipe it down just a bit. In this front section, I'll start painting at the hairline and then slowly move the line down as I move back away from the face. Just behind the hairline, I apply the root color to blend away any gray. As I move into the second section, I introduce one additional point of light, and then as I move into the third section, I'll introduce even one additional point of light. So there are more highlights going through the hair, again emulating more of that sun-kissed look. Now we're getting up to the top sections of the head, and I'm applying many points of light because this is an area where the sun will hit the most and will essentially lighten the hair the most. I'm still melting the root color in between just to make sure that I have a really soft blend and to take care of some of that gray. As I'm working my way through this top section, I also will go through and bring down that low light in some areas a little bit further. So between some highlights, I'll just stretch it out just a bit further to create a little more depth in that spot. I'm using Balayage film between each section, particularly during this application because I'm applying both lightener and a root color, and I don't want that to bleed into the other hair below it or above it, as I'm applying. So I'm using that film in between, and that's really isolating my section, as well as allowing, a little more heat to stay at the scalp. So I find that this is really important when you're doing this type of application. Now that we've reached the front hairline and part line, I'll be painting in multiple points of light on this section, as well as reapplying in some areas to ensure maximum brightness with the root color and tapping that in at the root and then stretching that out a bit to break up any line of demarcation, as well as add depth and contrast to make sure that everything really pops. Pre-sectioning with clips really makes things go faster for me. It allows me to already lay a plan in place of where I'm going to place the color. I wanted to show you a different view of the application on this side so that you could maybe get a bit of a different idea of how I am applying the color. The process is the same on this side. I'm really just emulating the other side. It's just a different view, and it definitely makes it a lot easier for you to see the color placement as well as pressure and things like that. A little bit more of a close-up view of that. I also want you to take note while I'm painting this side section and notice the back and how where I have applied lightener, there's really not hair visible through the lightener. Maybe just a tiny little bit, but for the most part, it's really, really laid on thick. And that's how you achieve those really bright pieces. If you can see the hair, you're not going to get a light piece. You need to really lay that lightener on thick to get really nice light pieces. It keeps the hair incubated, and it keeps the lightener doing its job instead of it drying out and stop working. So make sure you lay it on thick where you want to have light pieces. Though I think sometimes it looks as though I have a heavy hand whenever I'm applying, you can see here that I'm really applying everything very delicately. Alright, we are going to go under the color processor for about 10 or 15 minutes just to kind of warm everything up and finish that last bit of processing out. And then we'll get everything rinsed. Alright, we are back from the shampoo bowl. I've given my client a little bit of trim over her end just to take off any dead ends. And now I'm just kind of combing everything out and showing her all the nice depth in her hair, as well as how incredibly soft and silky it is from the new Leaf and Flower 3-in-1 molecular mender. It feels fantastic. Look at all of that gorgeous depth still left in the hair, as well as all of those super bright pieces that really just kind of bring everything together. It's so pretty. It's really got those sun-bleached vibes that you'd see in a child's hair. And we are super, super happy with the results. It feels fantastic. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification button, and I'll see you in the next one.